All right, we are going to be looking at how to start up with using the closeout system through RockGym Pro instead of using what we've previously done with QuickDraw. So if we look at RockGym Pro right here, this is where we're going to have to start. And not having any numbers entered into the system yet or having previously closed days out using this system, the first thing I'm going to need everybody to do is to enter in their petty cash amount into RockGym Pro. And the way that we're going to do that is we're just going to sell ourselves the petty cash. So if you look up the petty cash product, you're going to change it to your total petty cash amount. So for Minneapolis, it's $500. So I'm selling petty cash $500. That's me taking the cash in the box and I'm counting it in towards what RockGym Pro now calculates that we have. I'm using this remotely, so it might take just a second for it to go. So I'm going to sell that as cash. Now the next thing I'm going to have you guys do is set up your opening till, and you're going to be doing this as of December 1st. So December 1st, I'm going to need you to set up just your opening till. You're just verifying that it is the amount that it's supposed to be. So we're going to go into POS history, type in your PIN number, and then you're going to go Z out reconciliation front desk. So the only things that we're going to do here is first I'm going to change the date to represent what I want it to, which is just November 1st from midnight until November 1st at our opening time before any sales are done. So I would say 7:30 a.m. and reload from those dates. Now there should be no transactions really between that period of time. Oops, it did PM. Hold on. AM, reload. There we go. So nothing was rung in during that time period between midnight and 7:30 in the morning. So I'm just going to be entering in. Your first entry is going to start out with all zeros here because it doesn't have anything left to add. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to enter in our starting cash for that morning. And then I'm going to do a count to make sure that the starting cash is what it was supposed to be. So I'm just going to enter this in the easiest way possible for now. Okay, so that balances. And we're not taking any of that money out for a deposit, so that's the exact amount of money that I'm going to be leaving in the drawer as well. The other thing that I would like for you to do in this initial transaction for this opening, which will be for you guys on December 1st, is I want you to, any outstanding receipts that you have that have made petty cash be less than the total amount that it should be. So the sum of all your receipts and missing money from petty cash, I would like for you to enter it in this petty cash out location right here. So let's say that in Minneapolis, right now I don't have $500 cash in petty cash because we took money out for a staff incentive. And so there was $68 out for a staff incentive. And that's the only receipt that I have in there. Oh, except Brad went out and he got something from Menards. That was another $10. So I have $78 out in petty cash. And so I'm just going to write a note down here that says $68 of petty cash to staff incentive, and then $10 of petty cash out to maintenance. And Brad did that. And you should have receipts in there that echo these numbers. Now what that's going to do is it's going to create an over-under adjustment for me saying that petty cash should no longer be $500, it should be $78 less than that. So then my petty cash amount in RockGym Pro will reflect the actual amount of cash that we have in that cash drawer. So I'll select Create Over Under Adjustment. I'm going to go ahead and Z out. I'm not going to print that for right now, though it does give you the option to. Now, if you look, we can go in here to Manage Products, and we can look at the Petty Cash product to see how that's been affected. And you can see that it's at the $422. So, next thing is at the end of the night, when we are normally doing our quick draw reports, and we're going to continue to do those for the month of December, but we're also going to be mirroring those in RockGym Pro for accounting to get used to looking at it that way for the month of December. So I'm going to need you, as just like you enter numbers into RockGym Pro at the end of the night in quick draw, we're going to just leave those numbers in RockGym Pro here, and we should at this point have a starting dollar amount. So we're going to go to Z Out Reconciliation Front Desk, and since I'm doing this on a different date, I have to change dates, but you shouldn't have to. What it will do is it will grab, and you can see that it did this here. It'll grab from a second after your last Z out. So when I did that opening Z out there, it grabbed from there. And we're going to go to the current time, which for me is a month later, but we're going to pretend that it's closing time in Minneapolis. There we go. We'll reload from those dates. So now I'm going to go through, and it already tells me what my starting cash should have been. We didn't have any petty cash come out that day, so I don't need to enter anything there. And I'm going to do my drawer count. And so my drawer count is $287.78 at close. So I'm going to enter in, I have $200 bills. That's $250, $270, $280, $285, $287. And 78 cents. And then I'm going to enter in the total number of all of the checks that I have for the day, which was 640 checks were on. And now you can see that my over-under is $0 because I have the same number of checks that I'm supposed to have. All of our charges balance out here, and then I have the amount of cash. Now the one thing that you can see is that my cash deposit amount is this weird amount right here. The way that we change that so it can be a dollar number is the same way that we always have. So we have to calculate the leave cash for tomorrow. And since Minneapolis leaves between 160 and 180, counting up the change, we're going to leave this at the 177.78. I think that just closed out, but I can go back in. And so you can see that my cash deposit then is 110. Last thing I'm going to do is write in any notes. The checks were from team deposits, so those weren't tax exempt or an invoice paid or anything like that, so I don't need to note that. But I am going to write the labor percent notes. So we had some admin hours. Had some maintenance. We had team going. There we go. And now I can Z out. If cash was over or under, we would note that just like we do in Quick Draw. And we actually don't have to print any receipts. We don't have to run any reports. You're still going to be closing the normal way for December. But in addition to that, at opening, you're just going to recount that the cash is like it's supposed to be. And then at closing, you're going to Z out through the POS screen here. If you have any questions, you can shoot me an email, give me a call, but make sure that you have petty cash entered in there before you go about doing any of the rest of this.